Hey everyone. All right, I'll open up here shortly. Hey everyone, welcome to this webinar. So today we're going to talk about AI, a new topic. No one has heard anything about it in a while, I hope. No, but we're going to take a little bit special look at this from a customer success point of view. Great to have you joining. This was supposed to be a webinar, but it looks like a meeting in Zoom. So that's so I recommend everybody to mute to make sure. So I think we had some glitch here when we launched. But otherwise, warm welcome. We're going to do this for 20 minutes or so. And we're going to deep dive a little bit around a new type of users, a new type of customer that we need to manage in customer success, basically. So as people are joining here, I'm going to start introducing the topic. So we are in a new time. First of all, if you don't know me, I'm Johan Nilsson. I'm a founder and CEO of Startdeliver and Jecta AI. And today, this topic is coming from a lot of the discussions we're having right now in all of our meetings, basically with our customers. And I wanted to share. I think this is an evolving area where things are not clear yet, and I just want to share what we see happening and give everybody some best practices, some insights, some learnings we have so far. Also, something really interesting. I don't know if you noticed this or read about this, but basically, Salesforce, one of the oldest SaaS businesses around, went out this week and announced their headless. Basically, you can run Salesforce without the browser. So this is leading into today's topic, I think, quite well. So I assume people know what Salesforce is. It's a classic SaaS CRM platform. And basically now they are introducing a headless way of working with Salesforce. So meaning that it's not like people logging in to the Salesforce browser using the CRM. It's going to be other things logging in. And what can that be? Agents. So they're opening it up to APIs, MCPs, and so on to work with that platform. So I think this is quite a big thing, and it's something that's basically connecting really well to today's topic. So what we see, and ourselves and a lot of our customers that are also SaaS AI companies, they are basically now looking at the new spectrum of users. So basically we have the traditional user, it's a human, they log into the platform. If it's a CRM, maybe you're a sales rep and you're going to use the CRM to win more deals, book meetings, connect with your customers and prospects and so on. That's the typical user, and that's been very much so in the last, since the beginning, I would say. But now we're seeing more other types of users coming in. We are seeing some sort of a hybrid where you have some AI-assisted users. So maybe you have introduced parts of AI in your platform that's doing the work the old user used to do, but the user is still there. So we have that scenario. But we also have a scenario now where we have agents actually doing the work for the customer. And then we have this basically headless or MCP user, which is not even logging in, right? They are using the platform, but as an agent. So that's a completely new thing, I would say. So I think this is happening maybe in smaller parts, in some places, and in bigger parts in some other places. So how do we manage in this situation? So that's a little bit the backstory. And what I wanted to talk about is, I wanted to start by saying, like, it's a new but old challenge if you're in customer success. So don't be afraid. We will recognize some things here, but we need to anticipate what this change actually means. Because churn, and I can tell you firsthand that a lot of these AI companies, they have very much the same challenges as any traditional SaaS business. They have challenges to onboard customers. They have challenges to make customers adopt their solution, and they have churn. So things are different, but not so different. And from a customer success point of view, you can think of this in a very similar way as you have always been thinking about. So what makes a customer successful? So we need to come back to that here again. So what makes a customer successful? Basically, if we boil it down to the basics here, a customer becomes successful when they achieve their desired outcome, they achieve their goal. They buy your tool, whether it's just an agent that's supposed to do things, or it's me as a user doing things. They have invested in your service, in your tool, to achieve something. So that's still the criteria here to make a customer successful. And of course, if we fail on that, that's when we have churn. So a lot of these AI companies have a lot of churn because they have still not figured out the goal of the customer, and they have actually not really managed to deliver on that goal. But of course, there's also cohorts where the customers are thriving and growing and doing a lot, but then they are achieving their goal, they're achieving their desired outcome. So the basics, the fundamentals of what makes a customer successful and what makes a customer stay and not churn are still true, right? So I think that's very important to step back and realize in that way things are the same. And speaking of desired outcome or goal, I think this is now becoming even more important, because previously when you had people logging into your platform, using your platform, then that served some purpose, right? They were doing things that was some sort of at least you were hoping they were doing the right things, right? But now when we enter a world where agents and even MCPs or other types of users are using your platform, it's even more important to understand what are they trying to achieve here. Because there's going to be a lot of noise, and we have seen this ourselves, and we have seen this with a lot of our customers now, that when you start introducing these other agents and non-human users, there will be a lot of activity. So it's very important to separate what is meaningful activity versus non-meaningful activity. So goals, what is a goal? In a very simple way, a goal is basically an outcome and a timeline. So the customer, if they have bought your CRM tool, maybe they want to grow their revenue, they want to grow 50%, or they want to grow 2 million, or they want to grow 10 million, whatever, in a period, right? In 12 months, in 6 months, in a quarter. They have some goals, and then we need to backtrack that into how the CRM can support in achieving that goal. So having this understanding and having this clear front and center is going to be even more important when we now introduce and work with other types of users. So I think that's part one here. But also, like, another thing to realize here is that in the old world, or when we had only human users, basically, it was activity and usage was and I would say still is very important indicators of things. But when we now enter this new world, there are things that the signaling might change a bit. Because if you have an agent, maybe the agent is going to run 24/7 doing things in the platform for your customer, but that doesn't maybe mean that they are actually achieving their goal, right? In a CRM example, you might have an agent running around in the CRM updating customer data all the time, but actually that is not helping you sell more, drive more leads, whatever the goal is, right? So the signaling is different, so we need to understand that. But the goals, it's even more important to have a clarity on the goals, because otherwise, how do you know if the activity is on the right way or the wrong way? So that's the important part here. So if we know the goal, we know how to track it. If you have a goal and you know the type of users you have, then you can start understanding what is meaningful usage, basically. What is meaningful usage from whether it's a normal user, agent user, or an MCP, basically. And when you have meaningful usage, you can start setting health metrics on that. So you can basically say, this usage is meaningful because it's leading towards the goal of the customer. But this usage is just noise, so we don't even care about that. Like just updating records in the CRM, maybe that's not even important. But if the pipeline activity, if they're adding more pipeline in the CRM, or they're closing more deals, and that's because of the MCP or the agent, or it doesn't matter really, that's going to be meaningful usage. So that's a CRM example. Maybe we should just as an example, also take another example, like an HR tool or recruitment tool. So also there, like what is the goal of this customer? Maybe they want to have really they want to recruit a lot of people, and they want to have a really smooth process and a lot of candidates. So similar to that, you need to understand, okay, how does that turn into meaningful usage for us? Maybe you have an ERP or like an e-sign or something that's about efficiency. Then you need to boil it down to, can they spend less time? Can they get more? Can they improve the cost? Can they have less admin for the people? So you need to link those things to the meaningful usage as well. So if you have that, if you know the goal, if you can break it into meaningful usage, and maybe that would be different for your different user types. So maybe if we go back again, right, you have the normal users, the human users, you have the agent users, maybe you have API or MCP users. What is meaningful usage for each of those types, basically? And when you have that, you can start saying what is actually good health and what's not good health. Just an example here. So when you introduce if you have introduced already maybe a new AI feature in your platform, you of course want to see what can meaningful usage be there. So it's a lot of companies are now adding some writing assistant AI, and is that actually being used? So here we need to, there's a lot of data on this. So we need to see, like, are people or your users adopting this? Or is it completing things? And what is the actual quality? So that's going to be, if there's a lot of started chats, but not completed chats or completed actions or outcomes, that's going to be like a signal that it's probably not working as intended. I know a lot of people are experimenting right now, so maybe we should. Of course, there's going to be time for experimenting and trying and stuff like that. But if we want to know that this is really actually working, we need to have clear links, and are they actually getting to the outcome with this new feature, basically. A lot of more and more are now also introducing agents. I mentioned this, and it's going to be very similar here, but this is even more, I would say, like these are more independent, and you can easily have a lot of activity, but not really productive activity. Sometimes it can be actually harming as well, that we have these agents and they try them, but they actually don't work, or they break things, or they invent things and they do the wrong things and stuff like that. So we need to be very careful here to see what kind of activity it is, and can we identify both like what is positive activity that really linked to the goals and help the customer, and what is really actually maybe just noise, or even worse, harming things. And the last one in this example, I think this is probably, I imagine, like the Salesforce example there, these type of new customers that they will sign up that are completely headless, they need to be very careful what's going on here, and what is actually what are these customers looking to do, because it's not going to be as evident as it has been. And I think this is going to be the same for all of us that have these type of new users. I think most cases it's going to be a combination, that you will have some normal users or human users, and you will have some of these more MCP users or agentic users. So I think there's going to be a combination. And I think from a customer success point of view, if you can make all these users types, there's a synergy here. That where you can have an agent supporting in some ways, and making the actual user, the human user, maybe that will spend more time in specific parts of the platform, where the MCP user will do more, like updating the CRM with correct data and stuff like that. That's usually not something the human feel creates a lot of value, but it creates a lot of value if you have that data. So there is this, I think there is a synergy between these users and having them all work together. So, but it's as equally important to see that they all are serving that purpose, and that they work together, and it works basically. So that was part one of the presentation. I wanted to talk about this new era, I would say, in customer success. There are new users coming in. We are adding new features. We have new use cases, basically. But the fundamentals are the same. We need to make sure they are successful. We want to make sure that they actually achieve the goals they have. So some things are new, but some things are old. I also want to spend some time talking about how customer success can leverage AI. So this is going to create a lot of more work for us. But on the other hand, we can also utilize AI in a way that we can become more efficient as well. And I think that's necessary for most organizations are growing, will grow with this in this era. And but we need to also make sure that we are really highly efficient in taking care of the customer. So I want to share part two is a little bit some tips on how to become more efficient with AI as customer success as well. And I want to talk about four things, basically. One thing is that we can use AI to make really accurate health assessments. We can also, where in the old days, you had this one person that knew everything about the customers and what made them successful and not, and what the product was supposed to do in every part and so on. Now you can actually transfer that knowledge into your own success model, and you can do it in natural language. What I mean here is basically instead of trying to put numbers on things, you can actually you can talk to, but you can also just in pure natural language explain our way of working with customers. Basically take your founder's brain and dump it into your success model. You're typically the founder knows very well the product, knows very well the problem it's solving, knows very well the most common challenges on your customer side. You can just take that and then make it into an instruction, basically. I will show you a little bit more what I mean here. In addition to that, you always have these corner cases. You always have these, these customers are that way, but these are the other way. You have some segments, some use cases, some parts of that are not standard, basically. So now I think that's also something you can leverage here and tailor this success model for all of your customers. You don't have to have the majority version. You can do it. You can niche it and make it really relevant for all parts of the customer base. I will show you a little bit more what I mean here. Another cool thing here is now that I think async collaboration is growing. Async meaning that we work in different time zones, not necessarily, but people work in when they have time. The customer will look at your email when they're in the office, or maybe after work, or on the way to the subway, or whatever, and they want to do things on a Sunday evening or a Monday morning, or whenever they want. They want to do things basically on their time schedule, and not necessarily they don't want to be in meetings all the time with you. So async collaboration, I think, is growing. And here you can actually leverage agents to help you keep track of all these collaborations that's going on, and to actually be faster on the turnaround with customers. So I think this is a super cool way to leverage AI as well. And of course, last part here, not the least, you can actually have the agent do some of the work for you. I would say I believe a lot in augmenting this customer success manager and removing all these inbox prep, admin, all this I would say things you do that basically is not that doesn't matter the most to your customers. You have to do them, you have to fix those things, but it's not going to be the things that make or break how things are going. So those are the four things I would like to just share a little bit what's going on. And of course, this is what we are doing a lot with Jecta AI and Startdeliver. First of all, you can get AI assessments now. If you have full context on your customers, you can basically get really use the AI as your health judge. So the AI does not have a horse in the game. It will tell it as it is. And it will basically say, are we on the right track here? Or is the customer having meaningful usage in the platform, whether never mind who's the user? Are we on track here to reach the goal? So if you have the goal clearly defined, the AI will take into account that they want to grow sales 50% coming 6 months. They are now doing more and more in the CRM, so we are on the good track here. Or vice versa, they are not doing more. They are actually declining in usage. They are not creating more pipeline, so we are not on track to reach the goal. So it's a lot easier for the AI to if you have all this context, it's a lot easier for the AI to actually assess where we are, and it's faster and it helps you. So AI health assessments, very strong leverage on how to use AI. Now, this is linked. So when you have assessments like we have a Startdeliver, we have like built a customer success AI model where we fed in everything we know. We trained it on all our knowledge, the whole academy, everything we do. And basically, you will get that out of the box. But in addition to that, you can also have your own model. So you can put in your own things. What I talked about earlier, like dump the best thinking you have in the company, how to work with customers, best use cases, corner cases, segments that are different from others, and so on and so on. So you can you can add the layer of your own into this and basically say, hey, this is how we see our customers. This is what's important. These are really critical things. These are things that we need to really pick up on. So I think this is a way to really tailor and make the AI assessment super relevant. And you can do it in plain text. So you can update this. Hey, I think the AI didn't catch those things on this customer, so we need to update this instruction. Async collaboration. So basically I think we already do this a lot. Email is async collaboration in a way, not the most efficient way and most likely not the best experience, so that you can do a lot better. In Startdeliver, we have this shared space functionality where you can actually invite your customer and you can share and collaborate in a simple shared space portal. What's cool here is that you can start managing this with the agent. So whenever things are, maybe we're behind on a project, maybe the onboarding is taking some more time, and you can have the agent actually updating the project and checking in on things and reminding the customer if they are delayed. They can of course remind us if we are delayed. They can update things, and also when the customer starts asking things, or maybe they want to do more, or they have some questions around the next steps, it can also be there to actually reply on those things. So async collaboration makes it super easy to start introducing agents directly to your end customer, basically, to your customer. We also have, going back to this agentic, the agentic AI doing the work. I think a lot of you are already doing, maybe you're using Claude or using ChatGPT or anything else there to do things for you. I think this is going to be the next step as well, to do ask the AI to do actual work for you, prepping meetings, following up on meetings, reminding you of things that are overdue, reminding you of customers there's been changes on the customer side, helping you prioritize what should I focus on today, help clear my calendar, help prep my calendar, all these things that we need to do every week, every day. This is where a lot of help can be done when you have an agent supporting you. So I think this is going to be an area where you will you get leverage today, but there's going to be more to come, basically. So in a nutshell, some key takeaways to summarize. Basically, the definition of a user has already fundamentally changed. I think it's starting now, but it's going to speed up, and I think it's going to happen a lot coming this 2026. But things in customer success, the fundamentals are the same, basically. You need to make sure that your customers are successful, i.e., they achieve their goals, they get value, they basically get their desired outcome. When they do that, they will stay with you. It doesn't matter who the user is. But in this world, you need to understand the goals even more, because you will have a lot of noise when you have all these type of users in, basically. And yeah, that's number 3. Number 4, I think customer success is going to go through. It's going to be, given that customers are the most important thing in any business, customer success is going to be even more important in an AI era. But we need to make sure that we are super efficient and we utilize all the efficiency gainers that you have with AI and quality gainers. I would say it's both an efficiency gain and a quality gain by using the right tools. So, and this is, I think everybody's sensing this, but it's coming and it's already here. And I think one purpose of this is to share what we see right now, but to help everybody just get going and get some ideas and insights. So I hope this was helpful, and feel free to reach out to us, and see you all soon. Thanks for joining.